Right, one of the first jobs on the Vivaro is to put a rear reversing camera in the upper brake light here, and wire it in to a mirror monitor at the front. So it looks like you take these two knobs off here and it should just fall out. Let's have a look. Well, that was easy so far. The unit I went for was from Dolphin Automotive here, which is a parking camera looking straight down and a reverse monitoring camera looking slightly ahead. So it's like and you switch it on the mirror monitor in the front of the cab, which is pretty good really. It looks as though it's going to line up alright. Let's get that fitted. Had a quick look on YouTube and found the first thing you have to do is get a 4mm hex Allen key and take this screw out here, and then that should take the handle off, and then the whole thing should just pop off. Right, so I've got that off, and then the handle just pops out. It looks like there's a little hook on it at the back there. We don't want to lose that inside. What I would say is that I had to go and get a little pair of long nose pliers, pull it round and twist it off. It's a bit fiddly, but it looks like that's a bit of rubber, so it's got a bit of give in it. Okay, that's it off now, and you can see the rod is here. So right, so I've just got a little bit of protection against the paint and a screwdriver just to lever it off. And if you look in there, there is a yellow bobble and a fixing hole, so I think that's how they fix on. Let's get it off, try it. Well, what I have noticed is once you get this first one off here, the other ones come away pretty easy, but you do get this crunching sound, which is feel like you're breaking the plastic, but it should be okay. I think it's just because they're a really tight fit. There, look, bang. Good. There, see them? So, right, and then inside you can see you've got access to the wiring loom and everything. That's good. Well, just true to form, it's just started to rain as I've got everything exposed. But basically, so I put a tarpaulin over. Basically the wire comes in down this frame here, down this side, comes into the loom here. So I might try and just thread my cable down rather than leave that one in place. Once I knew it was an easy to drop through, I just used the weight of the cables like that, one at a time, popped it in, so that's it. And now I'll just disconnect this one here, and that's the light sorted out then. Moving along. What I'll do now is just clean up around here and then pop it on. Right, so that's it's all cleaned up, that moss now around here, so this has got a seal on it here. So I'm just going to pop that back on, screw it up, job done, that part. Just a quick point, make sure the cables, the wires here go into this slot, otherwise they're going to get trapped. Here, see that? When you pop it in. Well, would you believe it? I just took another look on the internet and looked around YouTube, and I found that this isn't a fake brake light attachment. It's actually, that's where you plug in the brake light, so it still works on an LED. Would you believe that? And that's it connected in now. So I'll just pop the unit back on and just try the brake light, and then I think I figured out the blue wire scenario. I think it's a trigger, 12-volt trigger for the cameras. Right, so the securing knobs are in. You can see they're slotted for a massive screwdriver. If you need to, just tweak them, which I did. And then when you fit it, make sure the foam's compressed all the way around and it's not misaligned. Looks okay to me there. You can see a slight little bit there, but I can't push that in anymore. Could maybe seal it if you needed to later with some silicone. But this is just a test. And then now, before I go any further, I'm going to plug this into a 12-volt supply and test it before we take it all the way through the loom and down the van. Right, so what else we've got in the kit is an extension, well, from these 4-pin connectors that go on here. They attach to here, and then on the other end of this we've got a breakout which is yellow, white and black on each one. So one's power, that's power, assuming that, and then these are the video for channel camera 1, camera 2 basically. And then we have some extension leads that run down the side of the wagon. Yeah. If you look inside these connectors, they're slotted here. You see a slot, so you basically line up the slot on the side here and screw it up. You can't really go wrong on that one. So that's the 2 video extensions connected to the yellows there, and as you can see there's long length there. I measured it 10 or 11 meters on each one, so that will definitely go to the front of the cab there. I was just wondering what the 2 white RCA cables were here, because the yellow ones are normally video. So, but when you look, it says here white RCA if present, not used. So it's just the standard cable they've used with the 2 in it. What I've done now is got a 12-volt lead. Okay, cut the connector off and just put a terminal block on it. And I'm going to test now to see which is positive and negative, and then mark it up with red tape. I might need I will need the ignition on, because there's no power out of that until you turn the ignition on. Okay. What I've done now is just extended the power cables, just using some twin and earth actually, just 2 wires on that, temporarily, just to check that I've got the plus and minus in the right way around here before I connect in the cameras. So, right, so we have a voltage and it's plus, so I've got my leads the right way around. If the leads were the other way, it would read minus. So plus is on the right there for me. So red to brown there, and we've got the right voltage, it's not minus. So now I can connect the cameras in, and all I need to do then is just connect the monitor in at the terminal block up that end as well. That's just to test it. This is a 7-inch monitor, and it comes with a lead with a multi-pin connector, and then they also supply a lead that has the video and the power on it. So you basically connect the male and female like so, and then it's notched so you can't get it wrong. So at this end here you've got the 2 video lines, yellow, that connect into the ones you brought through earlier on. You've got the red wire, which is 12-volt fused, the black wire, which is goes to the ground, and the blue wire, well, not sure really, because it does say it goes to the rear view camera, but we're already connected to the camera, so I'm not sure about that one. We'll come back to that. So that's the two videos connected. That's just male to female, that one. This here was just slightly different because it needed an adapter in between, which they supply, because that one's male and the ones from the camera's male, so you have to join them together. Strange, but it's probably just so you can identify them. What I've done now is just connected up the monitor power. So basically the monitor gets 12 volts, red and black, from the cigarette lighter, and then that one just temporarily goes through to the back to feed the cameras, red and black. I'm not sure about the blue one. I'm just going to leave that off for the minute. The other thing to remember is turn the ignition off, because you're getting, from the cigarette lighter here, you're getting 9 volts or 12 volts out, and then when you turn the ignition on, it goes up to 13, obviously. So you have turn that, make sure that's switched off when you're connecting up. The other little thing I'm going to do as well is buy some like flexible conduit and thread that over the wires, because there's a lot of sharp edges in there, and I think that's the best thing to do. You can get some different sizes, so that's what I'll do at a later stage. This is just for a test. So I've had a look around YouTube, and it's a bit vague on the instructions, but this blue wire here, which sometimes is a green wire apparently, is the trigger for the reverse camera. So what I've decided to do is dig out my old car batteries that I've got, and I've got a decent ring smart charger, and I'm just going to charge these up and use these as the 12 volt supply, because I was thinking maybe the cigarette lighter is not giving out enough power, and because my monitor keeps flashing on and off, so I think that's what the problem is. So I'm just going to give these a boost charge, and then use the charger to boost charge the car battery as well. Right, so I've swapped the video leads around, so we're on the right cameras now. So when the blue wire is out, right, there's no 12 volts on it, we're getting the rear view camera. At the moment it's looking at the barn doors are open, so it's looking at the side. But if I touch this onto the positive now, i.e. simulating going into reverse when this wiring's correct, so that's going to go on the positive, it changes to the reverse camera. Look there, rear view camera, reversing camera. Brilliant. That's on AV2, so we have a working system now. Yay! It's a good picture as well. The other thing I found out with the Dolphin automation camera is on the back. I got the mirror one. I didn't realise, but it actually clips onto the mirror. So it's got like springs here, so it like clips onto the mirror. But obviously in a van you haven't got a mirror, have you? Here, so I need to go out and buy a mirror, a normal mirror, so I can stick on my fake mirror. Right, camera. There is an old one here, so I'll have a look, see if I can get an attachment for that. So I'll get rid of the twin and earth solid strand, solid core, and in favour of this 8 amp multi-strand wire, red and black. I got it from Halfords actually for the moment, till I get a big reel of it. So that's all hooked up and just out the way temporarily, so I can close the door. And I'm just putting my spare battery on charge under the seat, because because that's what I'll be using until I hook this up to the ignition source. So I've connected up the red and the black at this end as well now, and just hidden all the tangle of wires here underneath the seat for the minute. That's the battery that we're going to use, and there's the power source wires that go to all this tangle. And then just now I've just got to fit the suction cup rear view mirror and clip on the monitor, and then that's it. Right, so I've closed up the back barn doors, and I'm going to try it now to make sure everything works. It isn't loomed in properly in the van, but it's good enough for a test. Just getting into the cab now, so you can see it. All the wires are hidden away. This is the one for the monitor. I need to tie that in. I've decided to have the monitor down here rather than up the top, because I'm on a suction pad, and I didn't want it falling off. I've had a few issues with the sticky pads as well, and until I find one that adapts to that. Anyway, it's quite handy down here, to be honest. It's nice and solid, and it's got a bit of support underneath, so, and it's not really in the way of anything. So try turning it on. Right, so that's the looking down camera for reversing. You see that? And then if I just go to V1, V2, yeah, that's the reverse, that's the rear view camera. So that's looking pretty good. Quite happy with that. And like I said, I've just put the temporary battery, spare battery underneath the middle seat here, and that's what I'm running the power off until I get it connected into the live ignition, 12 volts. But basically that's it tested now. Great stuff. I've just come around the other side, and so to show you the view from the passenger side, it's probably just as good as the driver's side view, so the passenger can keep an eye on what's happening at the back as well. And just to show you the temporary wiring inside, I obviously haven't finished all this off. You're best to test it first before you loom it all in. So it's just hung up out the way so I can close the door, and then it comes down. Obviously I'm going to run this in conduit and everything. I was going to mention as well is the suction mirror I got from Halford's Summit, and it was like the medium one, not the children's one, and not the massive one. This was like a one in between, which was just fitted in nicely on the spring catches. There's the model number there, RV30. And it was good, well, with a bit of support, obviously. And the real icing on the cake with these cameras is the both the cameras are slightly adjustable up and down, left and right, because they're on like ball sockets. Very, very handy, I must say, so you can set them up perfectly. Another little tip as well is the unit comes with a little nice remote control with a battery, a button battery, so when you hit the on button and off, it comes on, and then you can change the video channel. There you go. How cool is that? Moving